Hello and welcome to the Hauntings Lee's Top 5. Every other week I will be coming to you on this show on the Hauntings page to bring you my top 5 on all things paranormal, from locations to gadgets to television shows. Now it's all things that I have had first-hand experience on. So you may not agree with my top 5, and what I ask you to do is in the comments below, leave your top 5 and share it to let everyone know what my top 5 is and what your top 5 is, to see whether you agree or not. So here we go with this week's top 5. This week's top 5 is all about locations. So again, it's all about locations that I have been to, investigated and had experience of. So in at number 5 has to be Newstead Abbey. I could not leave this off the list. It's the location that I first had my first experience at when I was 6 years old. And now I am very, very lucky to be able to run events there and work there on a daily basis. Now, Newstead Abbey is based in Nottinghamshire. It's a lovely abbey with some really good grounds. And we've had all sorts of things happen there, from tables flying up in the air, people being pushed, pulled, figures being seen, and even the famous poet Lord Byron that used to reside there has been seen on occasion walking through the cloisters. And one of the main ghostly figures that has been seen is the White Lady. Now, she's been seen in and out of the abbey itself, as well as Lord Byron's dog, Beau Swain, who has been seen wandering around on the roof of Newstead Abbey. So that's my number 5, Newstead Abbey. In at number 4 is 30 East Drive. Now 30 East Drive is in Pontefract in Yorkshire. It was brought to fame really by the film When the Lights Went Out a few years ago, all about the poltergeist that lived there back in 1966 and drove the Pritchard family out of the house. And only a few years ago, Bill Bundy, who was the director of the film, purchased the house and decided to lease it out as a bed and breakfast, but quickly ghost hunting companies got hold of this, started running nights there. Now I was lucky enough to spend 5 nights at 30 East Drive, and although nothing specific happened, I always describe it as things was moving around in the wall, and when things happen in that place there is no way to get out. There is literally nowhere to run. So number 4, 30 East Drive. And number 3 is Batman's home, Wayne Manor, also known as Woollerton Hall in Nottinghamshire. Now it's a brilliant hall built in 1588 with 301 rooms to its name. Now it's a fantastic venue that hosts wine cellars. It's even got a ballroom in its roof. A fantastic location that never ever fails. Even when you have a fairly quiet night in there, there's always something that has happened. Now we've had things happen, people being scratched. We even had a guy in there that was goading the spirits that got a bit of a punch on the nose a couple of Halloweens ago. But Wayne Manor, even when it's a quiet night, is a fantastic location. And if you're lucky enough to be able to go there, to wander around in the night is a once in a lifetime thing to do. It is a fantastic location. So Woollerton Hall is in at number 3. Number 2, it has to be the Village in Mansfield. Very, very new on the paranormal scene. Now the Village was built in 1873. It was built as a malt house, and that was quickly turned into part of Mansfield Brewery and then into a nightclub. And the nightclub used to hold 3,500 people per night. And it's a huge, huge venue. And I always describe it as like a TARDIS in there. But activity at the Village has grown and grown and grown. And we started doing events there in 2015. And from that point onwards, we've had no less than 12 full apparitions sighted at the Village. We have a piano there that plays on its own. We have had a strange mist that has been seen, that's been seen on all the papers. And in fact, we've got a news article just up there about the Village mist. Loads and loads of things have happened in the Village, and it just keeps rumbling on. And when I go there on a weekly basis to show all the teams and guests around, something new has happened. It's a fantastic location that has flown up the paranormal list of certainly of my top 5, people are coming in their droves to see the village. So the village is in at number 2. And at number 1 is probably my famous, the most famous case that I've ever dealt with, the Clifton Hall haunting. So Clifton Hall in Nottinghamshire. It's a location that was brought to fame back in 2008 when the Rashid family left the property, and it was the most expensive repossession in Europe. £3.5 million mansion was left back to the bank, and the Rashid family just left because of the activity that was there. Now, I was first called into there in 2007 when we spent 3 nights there, and we went back there in 2008 and spent another 3 nights back at Clifton Hall. It was described as the modern day Amityville, and it was described in a lot of papers and quoted by Mr. Rashid as being like the others, starring Nicole Kidman. Now, we had things from baby blood spots on the baby's head. We had a room full of wasps, and then minutes later it was empty. We had strange figures that was wandering the corridors, and also a voice that in 2007 came to us saying, "We know you're alone in there," on one of the radios. And then a year later, the same voice on the radio came on saying, "So you're back again." Really, really weird location. Now, unfortunately, it is, or not, well, fortunately for the owner at the minute, it is lived in at the minute. We aren't allowed to go and investigate it now, but it is a beautiful, beautiful place. Fantastic location, and one that I will never forget. And I'm very lucky to be able to have investigated that. So that is my number 1, Clifton Hall. Thank you for watching my top 5. Now, I know you all agree with those, so drop your top 5 in the comments below and let us know why. Share your experiences. Make sure you like, comment and share. And if you are watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe as well. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time for a brand new top 5. Bye.